I am sitting perhaps with SK Gaming's greatest mistake. Get right. Obviously, 14 Fnatic, you are the guys that finally derailed MTW. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, did you expect this?
No, not at all. I think they play it really, really bad. I think they think that they did that too, because they miss out really shots sometimes that they should have won, and some stupid mistakes. But yeah.
So you don't think this was the normal level MTW?
No. No, I don't think so.
But from what I know, you guys were just ripping apart through the entire tournament as well.
Yeah. This tournament, not the other tournament, because me and Gooks needed to feel the tournament and stuff like that, and I think that gave us a lot for just playing that other tournament that we come fourth. Because I'm really more relaxed right now. I'm winning 1-on-2 situation and etc. And Gooks is just playing amazing right now.
Is there any reason why you should lose the final tomorrow?
No, I don't think so.
So
I hope we win. I really hope, because I can feel it in my whole body that I want to win. I want to taste the victory. I want to taste the goal. I want to taste everything. Even German food.
Even German food, is it so terrible?
No, I like schnitzel.
Schnitzel is very good.
I like it more than meatballs. Now every Swedish guy will hate me for that, but no. Now it's even between them. I'm not a really meatball fan.
So, apart from MTW playing badly in your eyes, what decided the victory here?
We did get a really great start. Forrest taking down 3 guys as a CT pistol round, and we got the momentum directly. And we didn't really do any big mistakes. Sometimes we did when we lost the round, but we played it almost perfect.
Almost perfect, and yet the first thing you say is MTW lost because they played below their normal level.
Well,
does that mean that a perfect Fnatic cannot beat MTW playing perfectly?
I think we can beat them if they are playing their highest level. I think so.
All right, so let me get back to what I started the interview with. Are you SK Gaming's biggest mistake?
You have to ask them. I don't care if they saying that and stuff like that. I'm really happy to be in this team. I'm more welcome than I did be in the SK maybe. Even they will say another news that I said, no, he wasn't welcome, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm more welcomed here than in SK.
Final question. Who, if you were to, tell your friends, go to XLBet, bet on this and this team.
No, I will never do that.
Never. No, hold on, let me finish. Bet on this and this team that we will meet them in the final tomorrow. Who is it going to be?
We will play MTV again. I think so.
Third place?
SK.
Tack.
Oh, wait, can I say hi to my friends in Swedish and stuff like that?
Of course, as long as you don't insult me in Swedish, it's fine.
Karmak är riktigt snygg, nej inte snygg, jävligt bra.
Du har stora ögonbryn.
Ja, i alla fall. Jag vill hälsa till alla polarna i klassen, Arne, alla andra, jag kommer inte ihåg alla exakt. Om jag ska sitta och rabbla upp alla så kommer ni förstå att jag kommer säga fel på någon eller sådär liknande. Jag vill hälsa till min familj och allting, ja.
The last thing he said was about his family, that's all I know. That was Get Right, freshly after the victory against MTW, and well, let's say we got ourselves a tournament again.
Yes.
So we're back then, and it's time for the grand final. Saltspot Fnatic versus MYM. Great game.
I'm looking forward to this. That lovely performance that we had from MTW over this week is as strong as it was. It's refreshing to see new names on the grand final and new teams who, well, have got a lot to prove.
How happy of Fnatic at this stage? I mean, obviously they've had that lineup, they practiced for a week or just a little bit less coming into this tournament, and they've already beaten MTW. They already, of course, beat SK in the playoffs as well. Through in the grand final, and they've got a huge chance of winning this one as well. Don't forget, we're a double elimination system, so MYM have to win 2 maps.
Well, Fnatic came in here thinking, oh, 4th is good. Anything better is a bonus. Sam said that on the sofa yesterday. Well, the bonus is they've got at least $25,000 in the bag from the World Finals, 4th in the European Finals, and they're the favorites in the Grand Finals. So, you know, the Fnatic world right now has got a sunshine, no clouds in the sky. Everyone's happy.
What do you think about MYM? Obviously, they've just beaten MTW on stage. Do you think it'll kind of play into their hands that they've just had that stage game and Fnatic are coming into this without having played a game today?
Definitely. MYM will, perhaps for the first time today, have a smile on their face. They didn't when they came up on the stage. They were labored. They didn't really seem like they wanted to be here. Then at the end, you saw those emotional scenes having won against MTW. It was beautiful to watch. And MYM, ladies and gentlemen, are back.
Well, let's see if they've got a smile on their face and bring Meet Your Makers up onto the stage. Of course, they are coming here from the lower bracket, and they have to win 2 games against Fnatic. First up on stage is Kuban. How do you think he performed in the last game?
I think all the MYM players showed individually that they're still on top form with Kuban, but this man, more than most.
Yep, Taz made a real difference in the final round to win that game 16-14 for Meet Your Makers, and even looking to continue that again. Lord, who of course we saw pistol aces early on in the tournament. He can do that here today. It'll be a great start for his team in the first map. Of course, then we have Luke, who I think was at the bottom of the pile at the end of the celebrations for Meet Your Makers. I think there were 3 guys maybe on top of him. They were happy after that.
They were. There were some interesting scenes, but here he is, Neo, the machine.
The battering ram, as you like to call it.
The battering ram.
And Neo can, in my opinion, change this whole game around.
Well, it's quite simple. If Neo wants to, Neo can win a match on his own. He doesn't need a team. He's that good. But he's got to find that form. We saw glimpses of it in that last game, rediscovering it, and MYM playing a style that suits the battering ram.
Well, let's have a look who they'll be going up against. It is, of course, Fnatic coming from the upper bracket. They only need to win 1 map out of the 2 maps that we could be seeing here. And, you know, Fnatic have so much confidence. And you guys in the audience can see those flashes over towards the left-hand side. You guys at home are going to get to see them in a minute.
Yes, these glasses are a story from the restaurant they went to last night. You and I were going to have the horns on. We never managed to pull that one off. But, yes, Fnatic are going to show just how good and how happy they are right now.
Well, let's bring them on stage then. It is, of course, Fnatic. And, well, that first man on stage will be DSN, complete with flashing glasses. And you can see the confidence of Fnatic here already with DSN. Second man on stage will, of course, be Guts. He was on fire yesterday against NTW on Nuke. And if he does that again today, well, I think that MYM are in real trouble. Then,
Yes, they are.
and, of course, we have Khan. He's decided to clip his onto his shirt. I think Carl probably looks one of the coolest with them on. And of course we have Get Right. He prefers schnitzel than meatballs, which is strange for a Swedish guy, but he enjoys it anyway. Certainly having fun. Then of course we have Forrest, who yesterday pulled off some crazy Deagle headshot through the wall on Nuke onto Zonic. And if he can repeat that here today in a pistol round, MYM are going to be in trouble. I just can't stop giggling at that.
Next in the Fnatic shop will be the full glasses range. So there were some comments about, I think it was Frod's glasses that he was playing with. Well, Fnatic have now got their own version of these, courtesy of the Munchenhaler here at Seabit.
Yeah, they got horns as well, but we kind of took them out last night, and I'm sure they were stolen off our heads at some point as well. So, coming into this game...
Heads, some might say.
Yeah. Coming into this game, who do you think is going to win? If you were to put money now, right now, on XLBet, who would it be with?
If I were on XLBet, I would look at the bet that you've just done, which was Fnatic to win, and I'd probably go the same way.
Yeah, I really think that Fnatic are going to win this one. The fact that they've only got to win 1 of the 2 maps is a big, big thing for them.
Yeah, Fnatic also yesterday, they had such freedom in their playstyle. Get Right. I think Carmack hit the nail on the head. SK Gaming's biggest mistake. Why let him go? That guy has come back and proven what a monster that he really is. And you know, he and Gux have joined this Fnatic side, and they look like they've been there for years.
And they certainly have. On stage right now, we have James Harding with two managers, of course, from these teams. First of all, with Sam Matthews from Fnatic, and of course, twice from Meet Your Makers.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, on stage with Sam and also Ronnie from, obviously, Fnatic and MYM in the grand finals, guys. So first of all, Ronnie, did you expect to be here, and do you think you can beat Fnatic twice?
Of course I expected to be here. No, I think we're glad to be here. I think we were really excited about the MTW match, and it went out in our favor. I think we can beat Fnatic, at least on one map, so we can make it exciting.
You're going in first on Nuke is the map choice. Fnatic yesterday was so powerful, so dominant on Nuke. Are your guys, or you, at all worried about that first map? Do you think you can overcome the first hurdle?
Yeah, we're not really worried. They were playing MTW on Nuke, and there's a reason why MTW always removes Nuke. I think MTW was playing a bad Nuke, and Fnatic had some individual players doing extremely well and winning that game, so I don't think we're afraid of that.
And how are your guys playing? Because they've had a warm-up. How are they feeling? Are they playing good? Are they ready for this?
Yeah, they're really ready and feeling warm.
All right, so Sam, they're ready for it. You guys have only just turned up, but you can do it. You need only one best, obviously one map. What are the odds for you? Do you feel confident about this?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if we're playing MTW, MYM. We're taking this as our tournament, and we're going to go in there with as much preparation as we can possibly do it. We're confident, we're feeling like there's no pressure because this is our first tournament together, and we're, just going to take whatever comes.
But looking at Fnatic as well, it's been a long time since you guys could have called yourself, the champions, the best. Is there not a little bit of pressure there because this is you want to be back on top?
We're already top 2, right? So it's kind of like, I think we're going to be number 1. And that's what I'm hoping for. Whether it's this tournament or later on, we've got a pretty good chance, you know what I mean? We won, they have to win twice, and our guys are doing an amazing job, and I'm actually more impressed with the way they've handled the pressure, the new guys, than when we brought in new players before, so it's actually absolutely amazing.
Oh, it's working out well for you so far. You are obviously in the grand finals as well as MYM. Fnatic only need to take one map. MYM need to do it twice. Fnatic, could they be back on top? Joe, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, my money is on Fnatic, as I've already said, and I think this is a very hard game for Meet Your Makers. Obviously, they have a bit of an advantage in the fact that they've already played on stage today. They've already won against MTW, which was a huge victory for them after losing so heavily earlier on in the European finals and losing twice in this finals as well.
Yes, I think it's an interesting situation, but there's never a better time to find your form, and that seems to be what MYM have done. Going into that game against MTW, they played with a freedom that we've not seen in a while, and it couldn't have happened at a better time. From Fnatic's perspective, they've also found form at the right time. We said from the word go, they will get stronger come the end of the tournament. The question is how strong. This could be their first major victory since what, SEC? And that was a year ago.
Exactly. A year ago as well. It was obviously at CBIT last year. At the moment, Fnatic having a chat about their tactics and getting ready for this game. Meet Your Makers seem quite cool and calm and collected for this one. They seem to be ready, and I think that MYM have that advantage that Fnatic are cold coming into this game, and that could mean that the first map is literally a warm-up for them, and then they have to do it on the second. I honestly think, though, if Gux and Get Right are on the form that we saw them in yesterday, then MYM is going to struggle terribly hard.
It's going to be interesting, but I'm almost tempted to forget everything that I've seen and said about MYM over the past days because of this newfound resurgence, this newfound freedom that they're giving themselves of going back to the way things used to be. And we could see a very different MYM in this final to what we've seen previously in this tournament. I hope so, because that will make for a great game going into this one. We're going to go for the knife round, Joe, and I know you love them, so take us away.
Yep. Knife round is certainly my favorite round ever. I'll give you a quick rundown on the teams again in case you missed the stage show that was Fnatic earlier on for the Fnatic. It is Forest, Gux, Get Right, DSN and Khan from MYM. starting on CT side for this 9th round is Luke, Taz, Lord, Kuban and Neo. And Toss, we talk about this quite often, but how important do you think getting onto that CT side is at the start of a Nuke game?
Yeah, I think it's very, very good. I think the benefit of the 9th round over a coin toss is it's somewhat in your hands. You can actually do better on a 9th round if you want. So I think that's pretty crucial. Give yourself a chance to win it. Get yourself into this, because if you can make that choice, then it will make things a heck of a lot easier for you going through into the next one. And from MYM's perspective, keep that confidence flowing.
It'd be good to see if Forrest can replicate that random deagle shot through the wall yesterday. That was always a pleasure to watch. And one thing that MTW impressed me with yesterday on Nuke was their boosting. They boosted into some really unusual positions and ones that we don't usually see. And that caught Fnatic out a couple of times. And I think at MTW have that extra boost factor, if you like. They do it a lot more than other teams that we've seen in this tournament.
Yes, they do, and I think it's a really good situation for them that, well, they've learned from MTW. Anyone who's come out and beaten MTW right now the way they're playing has run a marathon, has learned a lot of lessons, and they've had to learn them the hard way. So I'm really keen to see how when we get this one underway. We have actually just had a technical error that cost us the 9th round, unfortunately. However, I think MYM won it, hence the scream at the end. Luke got 4 frags in it. That's a way to win a 9th round. And now we're going to have the pre-match huddle as MYM get themselves together in their heads.
Yep, just going to try and get this machine back into the server. They're obviously going to take a few minutes here to have their huddle as usual. Our Meet Your Makers. Fnatic already did theirs before this 9th round came in, so they're ready to go on this one. And of course, now MYM are starting on the CT side. They've got to win 2 maps, so they know that they have to, of course, perform well on this CT side of Nuke. But I've seen Fnatic start really nicely on the T side of Nuke, and I think if they take pistol, they're going to take quite a few rounds away from MYM on that T side.
Yeah, going to be really interesting to see. We're just waiting on the MYM guys sitting back down, and when we get this underway, we've got, well, a final and a half to look forward to. It's been a long week. It's been a brilliant week here. So much great Counter-Strike has been played. The WoW tournament had that excellent conclusion, even though I'm not even a WoW fan, and I was on the edge of my seat when Orange Marmalade pulled his stuff out. This has been a really successful tournament all around. Great job from the ESL admins who have executed it with quite some precision. And now the icing is about to be put on the cake as MYM take on Fnatic in an all-star final.
Yeah, and of course, this game, quite interesting as far as MYM go. Of course, they were the team that kind of made history when they won back-to-back ESWC titles. They also, of course, won the first season of the Intel Extreme Masters. So if they can win this game, that would be 2 back-to-back ESWC titles and, of course, 2 IEM titles, which is just unheard of.
Yes, they did a good statistic there to claim, and MYM are the record setters, if you will, in that respect. And you know what? They may be ready to set another one and write those history books as we get ready to go live in this one. MYM have sat themselves down, and we are almost away with this game. MYM versus Fnatic is coming up in just a moment as we resolve just one more issue, and then we are ready to go. And there we go, we're back inside the game, and we can start. Joe, you've gone for Fnatic to win this. Let's be more specific. By how much?
I think they'll take the first map. After seeing them on Nuke yesterday against MTW, who, to be fair to MTW, aren't the best Nuke team in the world, but I think MYM are a strong Nuke team. I think Fnatic have proved that they're a good Nuke team, but it all comes down to this T side for Fnatic. If they get off to a good start and get that confidence moving early, I think they'll win this in one map. But if they start off badly, I think MYM, a team that really relish getting those rounds on the board and keeping them going the whole time, as we saw them do against MTW. And Fnatic, a team that in the past have let the head go down when those rounds go against them. I think that MYM could take this one. I think the early part of this game will dictate exactly what's going to happen.
Here we go, we're live on the pistol round. fnatic on the terrorist side, MYM Makers on CT. It's the grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Come on, let's hear some noise for these two teams who are giving it their all. And we are live and underway. I think I heard one person clap there. Yeah, it was you.
There you go.
Our opening frag comes in from Forrest as he meets Luke. And Luke meets his maker as the nade will get pinged down. Great start from fnatic. They'll now look to add to their man advantage as Forrest sits just outside their tin can. Nade comes in. fnatic uncommitted at the moment, wondering whether anyone from MYM may poke their head out. And so far they haven't. Bomb passes hands as Forrest that takes it. And now the commitment goes to the radio room as fnatic edge their way over towards the ramp. Pushing out they go. No one from MYM's here, but just around this corner there are two. They think and they find the first one. DSN gets the frag onto Lord. Now fnatic strolling through up the ladder. Get the third frag. DSN drops Kuban. This could be a perfect start from fnatic. Only Neo answers up with a frag. He then goes down. Taz gets one back, but fnatic are on the board. Great round.
Yeah, pistol round going down for fnatic, and it looked almost too easy from them. After that first kill by Forrest and then stormed into ramp room, interestingly enough, no grenades were used. They wanted that kind of, well, not really surprised because they were running straight into there, but they wanted to hit it hard and fast, and that's exactly what went down there for fnatic, and they will put that on the board, and unless something goes wrong, they should make this 3-0, which is already a great start as far as T-side of Nuke goes for fnatic. Nades going into that upper site as DSN gets himself into position. You notice that he's checking down to his right, and that's because yesterday MTW boosted up onto this red rock and caught DSN completely unaware, and that's one thing that fnatic have now added to their game is to check for those random boosts.
Yeah. The adaptation is a big part of the game. Read and review. You see a lot of the teams just sat here watching their own demos back. It's very, very important.
Gux at the moment is edging his way through into that upper site. He's picked off Lord. The rest of fnatic still sat back as Gux retreats to avoid any grenades which may fall into him. Grenades have been put out by fnatic as well. They will now move slowly but surely down towards this ramp room. Get Right will be the first man in there. As the nade comes around from the other side, it does kill Khan. Get Right will aim and take down Tazzy. Slowed his fire rate down right at the end because he was running out of bullets and not actually hitting anything. Gets himself another weapon. Forrest and DSN open things up as well. Kuban will go down to Gux. And it's quite easy from that point of view from fnatic. And they have a few claps from the crowd. I think fnatic, you know, after that stage entrance that we saw with the flashing glasses, are now the crowd's favourites.
I think they are. I think that's given the MYM, for whatever reason, rarely seem to pick up the crowd behind them. But we're now underway in the third round of this half with fnatic making their way across. It is Gux who will wait in the tin can. Nothing there for him at the moment. Lord now will dart back. Still, fnatic sit and wait. Firing off those shots through the wall. Making sure that they can do as much damage as they can to MYM. This time, though, only Neo's taken damage. And he is going to get perhaps players coming his way toward that ramp room. Not sure yet. fnatic look like they're going to commit to the site, though. And they will go in. It's going to be Gux to lead the attack. But not yet. As they double back again. Oh. Now, Joe, from your perspective, from MYM, knowing that they've been a touch susceptible to momentum, how much will this hurt them having lost that pistol and now perhaps the following rounds?
They have to just put it behind them, to put it plainly, you know. They have to forget about that pistol round. Gux has seemingly on fire again today. He's already, I guess, top of the scoreboard. No, he's not. DSN is actually. And this is the round now where MYM have to throw those last 3 rounds away, just completely forget about them, and now move into it and get this round on the board, because they're on that CT side, and losing so many rounds on that CT side is very, very dangerous. I mean, we kind of proved that on Dust 2 as well, with MYM picking up 5 rounds on CT side, really helped them going into that second half. Lord will sit down quite quickly there. Looks like fnatic already have got a good few grenades into that upper site. Looks like they may just make their push straight in there. The door is going to be open and fnatic will make their entrance. Forest and DSN getting frags. Gux goes in there. DSN steals his Thunderbolt. Here comes Taz with a hat trick. Brilliant from Taz. He gets 4. Amazing play, and Taz again will save the day for MYM.
Great work, Taz. The man's on form. We saw that in the last game, and, well, the MYM guys look like they're lassoing their opponents, or at least that was what I think they were insinuating with that motion. But from MYM's perspective, they stopped the rot. They've won the first buy round, and they're now ready to get this game underway for them. The match starts now from their perspective, as MYM nade down, set themselves up waiting for fnatic. No one from fnatic is yet to commit. The fnatic side are all still outside. Bought buy round from them though, which makes this oh so crucial. You can see that get right down to 70, DSN on 91 as Taz on just 10 points of health, and getting those 4 frags maybe just that little bit harder on this round for him. Shots continue to rain through. As now Taz will drop a nade in when he thinks that attack's coming, but so far fnatic very much uncommitted. Interesting nade there, dropped down the back. Love to see if it did any damage. Yeah, Lord B down to 63. And this is a great start from fnatic. Without really firing a shot in anger, they've taken their opponent's health down. Now they do start in anger, and they get the headshot onto Luke. Great stuff. Lord now waits as the fnatic attack is poised to come in. Forest got their frag outside, by the way, and looks to make his assault from there. He's just got himself another frag. Neo downed as he went looking for him. Kuban very, very aware of this and very worried because DSN gets himself one more. Lord comes up with a frag. It's 2 on 4. fnatic quickly dropped down. Taz has got just 10 points of health. He's in trouble. Forest 9. Everyone weak. It's all open. Should someone want to make themselves a hero? And at the moment, fnatic are quickly going through this bottom site. Get right now goes Walkies. Finds the big frag onto Lord B. It now leaves just Taz and his 10 points of health to go 1 versus 4. Gux is on him. I think, it was Get Right that was chasing, and Taz would be very happy if he could get out of this round with his weapon intact, because fnatic are going to force MYM onto the back foot once again.
Yep, Taz has to keep a hold of this weapon. fnatic are going to pick up that 4th round on T side. Well, every round that they get there is, well, 1 away from MYM in all reality. Taz will actually kill Get Right at the end. He's going to keep a hold of that AK, will do. So Taz keeps his weapon, surviving with just 10 points of health. And that will, of course, help the money situation out for Meet Your Makers, because now they are on an eco. And they just have that 1 AK from Taz to keep them backed up. fnatic will look to go 5-1 up. And I mean, how many rounds do you think fnatic are looking for here?
It's a difficult situation. Everything's somewhat subjective. How many rounds would they have looked for at the start? How many rounds would they look for now they're 4-1 up? Different scenarios. MYM look quite weak at the moment. And fnatic will look to make this 5. And 5, I would have said they'd be happy to get away with from the first half. So now I think they've got to look to, whilst they keep momentum, pick up as many as possible.
Forest at the moment absolutely on fire, and this is the thing for fnatic. If Forest is hitting his shots, then it's not often that fnatic lose. Look goes down, and the last man is Neo. He's got an AK, so I'm going to save out on that. He won't throw it away. Neo moving around now. We'll wait for fnatic to come into him. Well, he's actually over on the opposite side to where fnatic are. And they're, of course, spreading out, trying to figure out exactly where Neo is hiding. I don't want to give the position away because during those situations, the players can hear when it's quiet. But Neo is going to survive. He will take that gun into the next round. The score is 5-1 now in favor of fnatic on that harder T side.
Great work from fnatic. They continue to build up the score. And as they do so, it means that, well, the pressure continues to mount on MYM. A side who like to have their back up against the wall, though. Don't forget that. They came up with a brilliant comeback in the last match, so you can't write them off. A buy round for them makes this very, very crucial. Pre-shooting through the walls begins, but Gux is having none of it, makes his way into the site. Get Right will help him out with the frag onto Taz. A pair of them have now opened up this top site. And MYM, who have got 3 players out the back actually, find themselves in all sorts of trouble as they try to recover that site. Lord's got one, but Gux has got they've got the second frag for fnatic this round. DSN picks up one more. And now it is Luke and Neo versus 4 fnatic players. Make that 3 as Luke gets himself 1. MYM are going to call a timeout after this round, probably because their game is slipping away from them already. Neo gets another frag, and will get away with a weapon perhaps, unless Khan's got something to say about it. No, Khan doesn't. Neo on top form there, but we're paused because it's going to be 6-1, the scoreline, and MYM are in trouble.
This timeout showed what it can do in the last game. I mean, MTW were losing round after round after round. They called the timeout, and they managed to bring the game back to 14-14. From there, though, MYM were just too strong for them, and on that stronger T side on Dusty, it was a bit of an uphill struggle for MTW, but now MYM are on the easier side, and that's where the problem lies, that if these rounds keep mounting against them, they are in dire, dire trouble. The score is 7-1 as soon as the round starts. No?
It already moved.
It already switched? Okay. 6-1. And the more rounds that fnatic put up here, I think the more tense that MYM are getting, and that will certainly affect their game.
Yes, most definitely. And look at Taz there, trying to orchestrate things. He's not happy at all. He continues to bark orders there. And this does very much seem to be a debate between Taz and Lord. One unhappy with the other. And from Taz's perspective, he can have no complaints. He's got 8 frags on the board. Between him, the other 4 players on that team have got just 9. And 4 of those were Neo's exit frags on that last round. Sorry, 3 of those were Neo's exit frags on the last round. He's the only one at the races right now.
It's interesting to see that actually from MYM. You know, Taz looking very unhappy with the team, and after obviously this lineup change that we had Luke drop out, then he came back and Kuban went, then Pionis was dropped and Kuban came back. You have to wonder if at times like this MYM lineup are really with each other. I mean, during all that, Luke was kind of just dancing around and looking almost bored with what Taz had to say, and well, at the moment it doesn't fare well for Meet Your Makers. fnatic, on the other hand, all quiet, concentrated, and we will get that unpause in. The score is 6-1, as we said. fnatic on T side. I think 6 rounds is fantastic on T side of Nuke, and to be honest, there are still a lot of rounds to go, and I can see fnatic really going into the lead in the second half.
There's a football analogy. You can't win the match in the first half, but you can lose it. And MYM need to make sure that they don't lose it. I like the proactiveness. I liked it from MTW. I like it from MYM. Don't wait until the end. Don't wait until it's too late. The question is, will it have an effect?
Neo will spray away there up towards that spawn. Of course, this is a save round for Meet Your Makers. And only Neo has a weapon, which of course he kept a hold of after that last round. fnatic are edging their way in, going to make an entrance here onto this upper site as Forest will peek out. He's seen one man at the back as he sprays through. Gux will take down Taz, and fnatic are in on this upper site. Khan and Forest will pick up Kuban and Lord. Only Kuban has managed that frag in between. And well, all of a sudden, it's on Neo and Luke. Neo has that M4, but it's 4-on-2 and a dire situation now for MYM. It's looking like they're going to be 7-1 down. By the looks of things, Toss, they're going to keep a hold of that M4, or at least try to.
That's the right decision. Yeah, these are difficult times for MYM. That Eco round, of course, that's just the way of the world that they would lose that one. But next round is pivotal in the outcome in the game. MYM must stop the rot. They are 7-1 down. If they win this, then it's perhaps game on once again. But we'll see. Now ready to go. Will Taz's team talk have had the desired effect? Or will he feel once again at the end of this round that he's doing it all on his own because the scoreboard says that he is right now? As fnatic will quickly nade through from the ramp room as this game of cat and mouse continues. No one was affected by that nade, though. Only Neo's just got to that ramp room now. He will push out, though. All pushing around from the back as well. It's Forest that is going to dance the dance with Luke. And Forest has retreated. Gux opens up the fragging, though. Neo's been down. Neo pushed. Thought about pushing from the ramp run, but he didn't even get there. Lord's come down to this bottom site because he knows the fnatic are going to push this bomb with the whole of Neo, and Lord is going to have to fill that hole. Let's see whether he can do it. He's only got 51 points of health. fnatic ready to make their way into his direction. Lord knows very, very soon fnatic are coming, and Get Right opens up the frag. In the end, Lord would have had 4 players to deal with. fnatic still using that ramp room as a holding base, finding the frag onto Kuban. Now Taz and Luke, the last 2 alive. It's all on Taz again, and he must be wondering, what does he have to do to get this team to win a round?
Well, he's had his time out, so we can't talk about it in the way they did before. And of course now MYM are completely screwed as far as money goes. They're being controlled here by fnatic. They're going to go for Deagles, and well, they hope to have a good start. Shoot a couple of heads off at the start of it. Maybe get some weapons to get something from this round. But at the moment, fnatic controlling this game so much. Yeah, grenades will go in. Smoke down to cover. And it looks like a fast push, actually, from fnatic. As they will go out there. DSN and Get Right finding it easy. Taz has dropped down right in front of Gux. And this round is going the way of fnatic right now. Kuban is on that upper side. Neo is out of the game. Gux turning to his left 90 degrees. Super reactions there from Gux to get that kill onto Kuban. It's 9-1. On T side of Nuke, what is going on?
MYM need a round. When they win that round, they'll turn the corner, you think. And, well, perhaps it'll be this. However, 10 rounds down, things looking bad for MYM. Remember, though, against MTW, they were 10-2 down, and they turned that one into a victory. So, perhaps. Can the Polish comeback kids come back once again? Luke is looking to extend himself here. As we'll just take a look around that corner. What's on the other side of the radio room, he asks. Looking for Swedish meatballs, and there's none there. Finds the first one, it's Get Right that goes down. Gux answers up, Luke goes out, and fnatic can level us up at 4-4. Forest drops down, looking away around the outside. He's got DSN on his 6 as well. Neo and Khan about to go at it on the other side. Neo's got one around this corner, and it's going to be Forest versus Neo. Excellent stuff from Forest as he picks up the frag on Neo and puts fnatic up by a man. DSN behind him. Kuban now goes walking, looking perhaps for this next man. He edges his way through. Forest concerned as to where Kuban may be. Gets the frag. Great work from Forest. He's got DSN helping him out with the frag on the Lord. It's all on Taz again. And he finds himself well, quite literally between a rock and a hard place in the vents, but Forrest is thinking about coming down his way as well. Not going to do so, and bomb planted. Taz wants to get out of this one alive if he can. Save that weapon. Fires off a few shots. fnatic now know where he is. Oh, well, the exterminators come into the vents looking for him. Forrest has finally been down. Khan may be the next man to try his luck at finding Taz, and he'll be dealt with accordingly. Khan downed. And I think fnatic may have decided they don't need to do it. Oh, Gux will get it in the end, and the cat finally catches the mouse. It's 10-1.
10-1 T-side of Nuke from fnatic. And I said before this one that fnatic, we've seen them before, actually pick the T-side of Nuke when they've won the knife round. I remember, I think it was Code 5, they were doing that quite often. It can happen. fnatic are a strong T-sided Nuke team, I think, and, well, I don't think strong's even the word right now for a 10-1 lead. Of course, we still have 4 rounds to go, and MYM, you just can't see where that round's going to come from at the moment.
Yeah, this is... there isn't a polite word to describe this right now.
It certainly isn't. I think maybe the one word I know in Polish may sum this up. Right, we'll spray through. Let's take a look at MYM. Kuben's down to 40, Lord down to 80, Taz down to 90, Luke down to 58. Great fun for that. And this has been a difference in a lot of it, you know. They've hit what seems like every single round onto MYM as they sat in their defenses, and it's really, really difficult then, knowing it must be quite demoralizing for MYM every single round to lose half of the health points before they've even seen fnatic. Kuben has himself FAMASed. The grenade's coming through squeaky door there before it's quickly closed again. Forrest will move around the outside. Taz again, they want to pull up a frag for MYM onto DSM. He's just inside of that hut. And look at the score difference on the MYM team. 11-9 for Taz. The next one below him is 3-8 from Neo. Kuben 2-11. Lord 2-11. It's just not good enough from MYM at the minute. Gux will open this one up. Neo will get himself 2. Looks for a third, but Gux will find his second, and that will allow fnatic to pick a different place to attack. Forrest will pick off Kuben as well. It looked good there almost for MYM to put a second round on the board, but Gux has darted down. He's got the bomb planted. Forrest has taken down Taz. Now it's all on Lord. I'm not going to give his position away, but you can see it. Forrest will pick him off, and it's 11 rounds to 1 for fnatic. Wow.
Yeah, and looking at that scoreboard, actually, it's an even worse story because of the, 20 frags that MYM have got, 10 of them have been exit. 3 from Taz in that previous round in the vent, 3 from Neo on the end of that round where the bomb was going down, and a handful of others. This is bad stuff from MYM. And it goes from bad to worse as the MYM side find themselves up against a fnatic team who are going from strength to strength and really enjoying themselves right now. This, as you said in the last round, has been such a big factor for them because you can see Luke's already down on HP. Neo also down on health. Not so much this round, actually, but in previous rounds, you know, of the 500 points of health they've got to get, they're taking about a fifth of that out before they even see someone. So, you know, it's great stuff from fnatic. They're making this easy for themselves. And the next assault is going to come around the back as they go looking for fnatic, who are coming with Forrest HE onto Kuben. fnatic offering a different strat this time, running all the way around long. You're going to throw that bomb down underneath. Get Right, I believe, is already... Oh no, Get Right is not. As Gux is the man who's already down there, as he will get himself into a covering position. MYM now quickly begin to rotate, but it could be too little too late. Luke gets himself one back. It's DSN that's been down. Neo in with a frag. MYM maybe to spin this one on a sixpence. They look to change the complexity of this round, but Neo will go down by a Khan. Gux Gux gets in on the action as Luke follows suit. And now it's Taz or bust for MYM yet again as the pole will fall. And Fnatic lead by 12 rounds to 1. And we are seeing a masterclass.
MYM, to be honest, have had a couple of games this tournament where they've looked like they were going to get destroyed. Of course, the first one was MTW on train, where they lost 15 rounds to 0. The score here is 12 to 1. And, well, we have 2 rounds to go. They have to be picked up by MYM. Fnatic set up once again to attack this bomb site. They'll spray, as usual, into those sites. And again, Taz is down on health. That's been a huge advantage maker for Fnatic. Gux will spray down into radio room. Thought he saw someone there who pushed aggressively. Now they back away. Gux will edge around here. Lobby is clear by the looks of things. Luke will start it off for one of the first times in this game for MYM. Gux is now watching, again making sure no one goes aggressive and catches Fnatic out of position. Gux will now head his way down. The rest of his teammates will be coming in here as well any moment now. But just hit the 1 minute mark. Which means Fnatic will probably start to try and get in a position right now. Gux goes crazy with 2 frags, and not sure what happened there, but it was on entry to the ramp room. And again, Fnatic coming up with 2 frags to answer those from MYM. It's a 3-on-3 with Gux moving down into that inner site and calling it out for his teammates to get back around. Neo is in there as well. The glass is broken by the flash grenades, and HE's going across. Gux will make it 3 as Neo falls. Looking good for Fnatic to take this one as well. Gux looking for another one. Get Right will steal it though. And just surprisingly enough, Taz is, or was, the last man standing up for Meet Your Makers. The score, Tosspot, is 13 rounds to 1. We are in the last round of this first half.
And it couldn't come soon enough for MYM. They are, well, upset, to put it politely. They know that this game may well be beyond them. That number 13 means a pistol round conversion could result in the match for Fnatic on the second half. And it would be an emphatic result. As here we go. MYM have bought what they can. Luke has the FAMAS. Will line up the radio room. There's nothing coming his way just yet. As Fnatic lie in wait, the nades come out. And Fnatic are quite happy to send their players up the top and fire a few clips into the wall because they've had so much success with it. This time, they've only done the 5 points of health damage to MYM, who have perhaps, after 15 rounds, learnt their lesson. As Fnatic sit in wait, Gux and Khan ready to make their move inside, whilst Forrest and Get Right are coming outside. Forrest, who's been, well, a monster in this first half. 15 frags for him. Not the top fragger with 15 either. Gux and Khan lead the way on the scoreboard, at least. As Forrest goes looking around the outside. Luke is the man he will entertain in just a moment. Spies Luke as the bullets come flying his way. Forrest retreats very quickly and decides that's maybe not a fight he wants right now. Luke is also getting himself out of there. Fnatic look to finish off this half in style. They've won 13 consecutive rounds and want to make it 14. As Gux opens up the fragging, replied by Luke. Taz gets 1, make that 2. Kubin in on the action. Get Right did get 1 in the middle, but Fnatic are running out of players. Forrest gets Taz and stops it briefly, but MYM have got a consolation round at the end of that half. The score at halftime is 13-2, and someone call the police because there's been a murder.
There certainly has, and well, it's MYM who have been absolutely destroyed. Taz's arms are up in the air. And what do you think went wrong for MYM there? Do you think it was, in my opinion, they were just outclassed by Fnatic, totally. Fnatic were hitting everything. You can see the scoreboard. I mean, everyone from Fnatic was in double figures as far as the frags go. But Kuban, 2 and 15. Lord, 2 and 15. It's just not good enough for MYM.
It just isn't good enough. Fnatic have been Well, there are not enough adjectives in the English language to describe Fnatic. They've been beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And they just need to stroll over the finishing line and they'll have $50,000 in their back pocket. It is, well, quite a reward for what has been quite a performance from the Swedes here in the Intel Extreme Masters at Seabit. And, well, Taz can try again to rally the troops, but it may all be in vain. They've tried this before.
Yep, their heads are down and things don't look all that great for MYM, it has to be said. 13-2 they are behind, and, well, they are getting words of encouragement from each other. One man who can't join in on the conversation, so he has to talk to our good friend James Harding, is Twice from Meet Your Makers.
Thank you, Joe and Toss. Yeah, joining me on stage once again is Rooney. We often have you at half-time because we always like to talk to the team that has something to come back with. Now, am I going to say congratulations on second place, or have MYM got something to say about this situation? Can you guys play perfectly?
We'll see. The game's not over yet.
Still not over. Well, I'm going to leave it at that for Rooney. His team are talking, and I think that they can do it, but it's almost going to be up to Fnatic. But coming up next, obviously, it's going to be a Fatality Tech Talk. Only joking. Back to Joe.
Thanks, Jay. And 13-2. This game's certainly not over, as Ronnie says there, and I just can't see a way for MYM to come back into this. I mean, they've got to now go onto the harder T side. They've got to, well, just turn it around completely. Literally do a 180 turn and just change this game completely on its head, and I can't see that happening.
Well, with such a hard-hitting interview at half-time, they'll certainly be feeling the pressure. I kid. I love you, James. No. Well, we are in we're almost in uncharted territory. I can't remember the last time I saw a final that was just one-sided. I can't remember the last time that, well, Fnatic looked this good. They're an amazing force right now. And we could sit and rag on MYM, but in all honesty, I'd rather sit and just admire Fnatic.
Certainly. I completely agree with that. That, you know, Fnatic's performance really was huge in that game. They at the start of the round, spamming through the walls, seemed to hit every single time. And Meet Your Makers, not until I think the last 2 rounds, stopped sitting in rafters. And you have to learn faster than that. That if it happens in the first 5 rounds, it's probably going to continue for the rest of them.
Yeah, you're quite right. And now we're live on the pistol round, which could be the match-winning round for MYM. Sorry, for Fnatic. Win this and convert, and you got yourself a big fat check.
Yep, a big fat check worth $50,000. Here come Meet Your Makers, charging into this upper site, and already they're able to get that plum planted. That's a great start for them, and let's see if Fnatic can recover this one. It is still a 5-on-5. MYM, of course, have got men spread all over the place here. Get Right will look down from the vents. Great position is that one from Get Right. As he drops down, gets right in the face. Nia will pick off Khan. Here come MYM to defend this site. Kuban will get one as well. DSN has to get these frags. Boris will come up with a knife onto Luke. They look at another one inside of those vents. I'm not sure they're going to get this. They do have those frags, but the bomb is going to explode, and MYM are able to pick up the pistol round and make it 13-3.
Get Right needed to land those frags that he had at the beginning. He didn't, and that's what lost the round for Fnatic. That, in fact, they were just a touch slow, and MYM, well, they've put their hands in the cookie jar of Fnatic, and we're about to see whether they can, how long they'll be allowed to do that for. They now will assault through. MYM, no pre-shooting, just straight down to business, it would appear. Nope, they will get themselves out on top and fire into the rafters now. Get Right is on the other side of that wall, or was. He's moved out of there. And MYM will quickly move to look for these Fnatic players on the outside. The window of opportunity is open for Meet Your Makers. They've got their 3rd round. The score's 13-3. But from Fnatic's perspective, they just need 3 on a map that is perhaps easier to defend, and now can just relax a bit. They can choose. They don't need to make any rash decisions. They can choose their rounds that they want to play almost. And this, well, not by choice, is one that they are sat deep in, waiting on MYM coming to them. It is DSN, Khan, Forest, Get Right, and Gux all coming actually as one. And they're all going to meet Luke head on. They decided they didn't like that, and the bomb goes down. Gux gets one back, but Neo got the frag in. There are only 3 Fnatic players left. And Luke is the man hunting them down. Will get himself another one. And Fnatic, well, trying to be innovative at the moment. It's not paying off for them just yet. Bomb about to blow. Gux looking for anyone coming from behind. DSN gets himself one. It's on to Luke. But Fnatic won't be able to get away with any weapons for either of them. They may have got 2 frags, though. So it's not all lost.
Oh, Gux saw an AK on the floor there and was running to it quite desperately, trying to get that before the start of the third round. And of course now, as you said, Fnatic have time in this game. There's no real rush or urgency about them. They don't need to be getting this over and done with, because they've got lots of rounds to play with. They have a 9-round lead now. Let's go 13 rounds to 4. And of course they're on CT side, so this means no weapons for them. MYM again set themselves up and get ready to win a round. I mean, what do MYM have to do here? I mean, for my money, they have to take each round as it comes, each an individual round, and just forget about the fact that they are so many rounds behind and just play their game.
Yeah, you're quite right there. We're walking through these eco rounds for Fnatic, having lost the pistol, and then they need to win 3, and that's not going to be too difficult of a scenario for them. And this has not been too difficult of a match for them. Bomb goes down. Fnatic refusing to play ball at the moment, and not even coming to MYM. Now they make their way inside. Strength in numbers on an eco, totally agree with that.
Yeah, of course can't fire through that glass, so they have to make their way around to this opposite side. Forest will fire off a few warning shots there for Fnatic. Neo will find one frag as well as Fnatic try to get back into this one. The doors are open and that will allow Forest to fire through. It picks off 2. Great play from Forest, but of course that bomb ticking away far too quickly. He goes down and that'll be 3-0 and 13-5 overall. Now Fnatic have the money to buy. This is where they can really close the game.
Yes, this is the beginning of the end, or is it? We're about to find out. Fnatic buy up. MYM will know that if they are to have any hope of winning this, it will be decided on this round. We are away. Luke nades in. They're going to charge on through the squeaky door, it would appear. Nades come on in. Nades now pinged back as Fnatic wait on this incoming assault from MYM. It is led by Lord, who opens up the fragging on Gux, because Gux had dropped Neo. Bomb going down and planted. Out go MYM now, looking for a strong afterplant. It's Lord in on Khan. Good work. Forest comes back with a frag, pops his head up looking for more. Decides maybe not just yet, as he will nade back up into that site. It's got DSN and Get Right now looking to make their move on the side as well. Here comes Forest. Around the corner he goes. Taz in on DSN. Forest can't land that one. And Taz and Kuban win a bye round. And that's very, very important as MYM take their second half total to 4 and their match total to 6. It's 13-6.
Yep, there is still hope for Meet Your Makers in this one, but it's still a long way away. Fnatic, of course, still not feeling that much pressure, I guess. We, of course, will maybe hurry things up when the score starts to approach 10 rounds. Maybe a little bit close for comfort. Of course, they're forced onto an eco again now. And that should mean it's another round on the board for Meet Your Makers. They should go 5-0 up on T-side. Kuban's grenade will kill Forest. Meet Your Makers are spamming around. Khan spots ahead as he darts back along the gantry. Sides is going to get up close and personal. Luke is just watching out. MYM doing exactly what fnatic did at the start of every round, and that's make sure you do that spray and take away the health from your opponents. Lord's grenade also lands. That's 2 grenade frags early on in this round for MYM. Now they're going to hit that lower site as hard as possible. Khan will fire out from the vents. He's fired off a lot. He's not killed anyone though. And now all of a sudden, Get Right is left and he will be picked off by Luke. That is 13-7, fnatic back on the buy.
Yes, it's MYM continuing to believe in themselves, and this is a really, I guess you could say, dangerous scenario for fnatic if it's allowed to continue much longer. The question is, will it? At what point will fnatic strike? At what point will they change this game? fnatic will make their way in with Get Right leading the nades down to the tin can. MYM are going to rush this one straight in as Khan opens up the fragging onto Neo. Neo's been the first man down in 2 rounds here for MYM on buy rounds, and Gux gets himself one more. Lord Big goes down. Taz is still alive though in the site, and with him, the way he's playing right now, there's still hope. Waiting for the smoke to clear, down to 61 points of health. In come the rest. Taz has got himself one, but Forest dispatches of Luke, Kuban and Taz now for MYM. Or fnatic are back on the board. MYM retract from that site with a bomb planted. And there's a great frag from Taz. Gux goes down. It's 1-on-2. Kuban with just 2 points of health. And a bomb being defused. He goes for the shot through the wall. What a frag onto Khan. Gux with 11 points of health. Kuban with 2. Gux will win the battle. Can he get the defuse though? It could be too little too late from Gux. He's not going to get the defuse. And by the skin of their teeth, MYM are still in this one.
Very, very close there. And well, at the end, Kuban was amazingly patient, you know, sat right back and sprayed through the hut, and that's what won that round for them. Now, of course, fnatic look to bounce back. They've lost 6 on the bounce, which is unusual to see a map on Nuke dominated completely by the terrorists. Of course, 13-2 half-time. It's now 6-0 favour of Meet Your Makers on the T side. See how MYM do this one again. They are spraying. Gux will be watching the outer area actually for fnatic this time, as well as Forest. He's got some backup. Taz will fail at jumping onto the cliff, so they'll have another go. This time he manages it as Luke and Khan will exchange frags there. Khan decides he's going to pull himself out of that situation and get back into the inner bomb site. Taz takes out Gux, and it's kill for kill here. Very even round. Smokes go down to cover. Get Right at the moment, not performing as he was in the first half. Look at the scoreboard, 0-6 is Get Right. He has to get a move on and wake up in this game so that fnatic can seal the deal. Taz will edge around. Khan was just in a good position there to watch out for Taz coming in. Yeah, man advantage is with Meet Your Makers. It's a 4-on-3. The Swedes and fnatic will bring it back with DSN. Lord is watching down towards that area as well. Kuban will take a deep to the head. Khan and DSN both opening up. It's all on Neo, who's picked off for Get Right's first frag of the game. And that will put fnatic up to 14-8, 2 rounds away from victory.
Yes, and after that last round, you just started to think that things might be going MYM's way, and, well, reports of fnatic's demise have been greatly exaggerated, as now they must finish the job. MYM, though, still have money, still have the opportunity, can't let those heads drop. Their strength, their rounds that they won were done by a lot of them just going through the squeaky door at full speed. And they're going to do that now, albeit at half speed. Gux will be allowed to come around the corner. Kuban downs Get Right to his right. Taz finds Gux. Great frag. Forest and Khan in on the action though. Kuban and Lord both down. Taz again finds himself in a sticky situation. He's got Neo though still with him. The bomb is down though in that site, and that makes it difficult. Neo's allowed to collect it though, surprisingly, as Forest has just 1 point of health. Neo only 42. DSN fully up. as he and Khan will watch the back. Neo is going to go and put that bomb down if he can. He can! Neo goes in for it as we have tense times. Fnatic go for the... Oh, great frag from Neo as Forrest tried to come up. It pulls us back to a 2-on-2. Neo now down by DSN. Taz has to go it alone and doesn't have anyone to help him with the time against him. Great frag onto Khan, though, on that site. 1 versus 1 for the round. Taz will save MYM's case guts again. Excellent work from Taz. Man of the match by a country mile as he's 17-4 in this second half. And it is 7-1. And do you believe?
I'm not sure I do. I mean, MYM, yes, of course, they're doing great here. Let's not make any mistakes about it. They're 7-1 up on T side, which is great, especially after they've just lost the first half 13-2. And they've bounced back exactly as they wanted and needed to. Fnatic are on an eco now, and that should mean that they will pick up this round. Forrest is going to come underneath MYM, but Lord was watching the door just in case. I know that eco's coming in. Fnatic really playing quite aggressive here. Khan will be picked off by 1. DSN's in that upper bomb site as well, and Get Right is just sat back. Nade draining as well. Right, he's now going to have a bit of a peek. He spots a leg there on the roof. One of the other Fnatic players, DSN, just went straight up the ladder. He was, of course, taken down instantly by Taz. MYM seem reluctant to move in here. There goes Kuban. He's just taking a dink to the head and he's down to 35. Gux will get 1 and 2, but Taz was watching from the ladder. And, well, a decent round for Fnatic. They made it expensive. Job done on the eco.
Job done, but that round makes it 14-10. And the comeback is very, very much alive here from MYM. And they say to Fnatic, if you can do 13-2, maybe, just maybe, we can do 14-1. As here we go. A buy round for Fnatic. A crunch round once more. MYM must be flawless. And this time they decide to take their time a little bit. Try and spam through the wall. Was it doing anything on those Fnatic boys? No, it's not. Forrest has been allowed to extend that Fnatic defense, and Luke will open up the fragging. Get Right down. Not been a half to forget Right, let's put it that way. And Khan is the man who will next see action. As we look for him, because he's just to the left of Neo. That's fine, Khan, there we go. Down by Kuban! And MYM now have perhaps full reign to go into this site if they can get there. DSN says, no way in hell is he giving up without a fight. Kuban does, though, drop him. MYM are 2 men up here. Make that 3. Taz point blank range frag onto Forrest. It leaves just Gux alive, and he will probably want to save that weapon as he will watch MYM go and collect that bomb. Walk back into the site and plant it. And as they do so, they plant a big message as well. MYM are back in this game. The grand final that looked like it was over at halftime is alive and kicking at 14 rounds to 11. And MYM have done it.
14-11, they've got past that kind of sticky point around the 5, 6, 7 round margin. And they're continuing to rage on here against Fnatic. This will make it 14-11, as you said. Just 3 away from tying things up. Gux looking to keep hold of that weapon. The bomb goes down, off rather, and Khan is going to call a timeout. So Fnatic going to have a chat here. They've lost now 9 rounds in this second half, and they know they only need 2, but again, I can't see where they're going to come from. MYM are dominating.
Well, Taz,
he's dominating.
Again, okay, he's planted some bombs in there as well, but 21-4. Taz is a beast. And again, although we're looking at Fnatic, Taz is the one who's orchestrating the MYM team talk. Khan the opposite number doing exactly the same for fnatic. And this is a really, really tense affair. I'd love to shove a microphone in there and hear what they're saying and translate it. But
how is your Swedish?
Good, tack.
Huh. Yeah, of course, wait for these teams to figure out the problems and get things back underway. They've scored 14-11, as you can see there on your screen. And this time, that MYM huddle looks a little bit more friendly.
It certainly does. Taz is saying, well done, guys. You've stepped it up. fnatic, I don't think they could look unfriendly if they tried. They are a very nice bunch of guys, but there's some severity in Khan's actions. And this is a baptism of fire for Get Right and Gux, the new boys. We're ready to go once again as fnatic sit down. MYM, not yet. Here comes the huddle from MYM. Any second you'll hear the chant as well. 1-3. Oh, still team talking. Here it comes. Hands in. Power Rangers, go!
So, MYM ready, and they're looking to get back into this game. Of course, they've already done the hard part. They're 11 rounds now on the board. They started this half with just 2. Fantastic from Meet Your Makers. They've really shone in this second half. As we move now into the latter stages of this game, things getting really, really interesting. MYM need just 3 to tie it up. fnatic need 2 to win. It still could go either way.
He's so delicately poised. This has been such a lovely tournament. So many matches gone right down to the wire. How many 16-14s have we had? It's been compelling viewing that you just can't take your eyes off.
Well, when we got to half-time, you could have said this is possibly the most boring final in the history of the world. But now, it could be one of the best. The score comes back to 14-11, and MYM are giving us a show. And just a quick rundown of the scoreboard once again. 24-4 is Taz. Whereas you look at fnatic, you've got Get Right on 1-9, needs to pick up his game. Well, this would be a good round to do it for fnatic. They are back on the bike, or at least partially, as the flashes will come around. Khan is going to be blinded. He will spray there with his FAMAS, and Meet Your Makers hitting that upper side brilliantly. Gux, Forrest, all down, but here comes DSM with a double. Get Right joins in. DSM picks up another. Lord will pick up 1, and it's down to a 1 versus 1, and Lord wins it. 14 rounds to 12. Again, brilliant by MYM.
What can you say? What can you say? DSM thinks he's done it. He thinks one little spell of magic can do enough to turn that round back in fnatic's favor. Lord says no. And we are at 14-12, and fnatic are at dangerous levels here. Their next bye round will be the round that could draw the match. Luke gets one in. Forrest goes down. Get Right through the rafters. Got to up his game, Get Right, in this final. And now MYM will make their way forward. Lord B downs DSN. Get Right in on the action again. fnatic have 1 frag on the board, but have still 4 MYM players to find, and only Khan and Get Right, the 2 bottom fraggers, to do it. Bomb planted. This, another round MYM. It will be 14 rounds to 13. This is a final and a half. And Joe, put your money down. Who's going to take this one?
Well, my bet was with fnatic, and after that first half, you said, well, that was easy money almost. And now it's right back. It's going to be 14 rounds to 13, and that is just fantastic from Meet Your Makers. They are on an absolute roll. We've said it before this game that, you know, they relish this opportunity. The pressure was all over them, and, well, they now get round after round after round. And this is turning into a great final. 14-13, MYM 1 round away from tying us up. But Fnatic now are on the bye, and they could move to that game point. I think that if Fnatic do manage that 15th point, then they're going to win this game because they just need to get over the fact that they can't seem to win a round.
Yeah.
Get right, of course, with his stolen AK from the last round. Flashes and smokes going out onto the outside. HE's down there as well as Makers try to get back in and tie this game up. Of course, just 1 round behind now. And again, they will spray through those smokes, hoping to catch someone. Lord's actually down to 72 health. Get right down to 75, so good trade-off. Looks down somehow to 65. DSN will spot him there on the outside. DSN in a great position to defend here. He is going to get pushed any second, though, by MYM. As he will be pushed. DSN goes one side, then the other. He's finally taken out by Kuban, but you have to say, job done, DSN there. He's been put in quite an aggressive position, and he's defended it perfectly. He's taken down 2, then Khan makes it 3, and now Fnatic are looking to move up onto that game point. They have only 2 more frags to find. Now only 1. Get right kills Taz, and the last man standing is Kuban. He does the job that he needed to do and get that frag on the entry. He's taking damage, and Fnatic will move onto game point. It's 15-13 with 2 rounds to go.
Just when you thought Fnatic were dead and buried, they come back and pull that round out. 2 rounds left in this half. Either Fnatic win or we go to overtime. I favor the latter. But this game has been so good, I think I may have a mild stroke later on. As here we move in with MYM, nading through. They've been very successful every time they push that way, but counter nade does stop this rush coming in from them. Lord will make his way across. MYM look to make their entrance. A second time, nade through. Gux shuts them down. Fnatic are 4 frags away from $50,000. As they hold back, Taz on 38 points of health is not sure he wants to go that way anymore. Gux has done his job and scared them down, but the bomb is in there. The bomb is just on the other side of that squeaky door. Meaning at some point they're going to have to go back. Forrest gets the second frag. Fnatic are homing in on victory as Luke is in the thick of things there. Khan on the outside watching with bated breath as the action unfolds on the inside. Forrest gets himself 1 more. It's Kuban that goes down. Taz now will come back in. He's the last man standing for Meet Your Makers and the last line of hope for the Poles to take this one back. Fnatic are going to win the Intel Extreme Masters. They've had to go a long, long way. They've had to overcome the biggest teams in the business. But this has been a win fitting of champions. They have been absolutely brilliant in this game. They set themselves a brilliant early pace, winning the first half 13 rounds to 2. But MYM gave them a scare. MYM aged them all by a few years in that final. But when the chips were down, Khan and his boys came through.
Absolutely fantastic game. I mean, Meet Your Makers really did give us a show there in that second half. They came all the way back to 15-13. Fnatic, as I said, I thought once they hit that 15th round, once they actually realize that they can win rounds, then they'll do it. Then they'll win that game. In the end, it was 16 rounds to 13 in favor of the Swedes, and they didn't lose a single game this entire tournament, and they've been absolutely brilliant. I can't believe how brilliant after just 6 days playing together. Gux and Get Right, well, I think that was the biggest mistake SK ever made.
Yes. I think it was probably someone else's mistake not recruiting those guys first. But Fnatic have done it, and Fnatic have made themselves champions. Their first major title since the Samsung Extreme Championships a year ago today. They love it here in Hanover. We've loved it here in Hanover. What a tournament.
What an amazing tournament. The European finals being won by MTW. That final was amazing again with an overtime. Of course, in this one, we've seen Meet Your Makers come all the way back and really give Fnatic a game. And well, I think those guys are super happy. I mean, they've, as I said, been practicing for 6 days. They've got 2 new players in the team. They've just looked like they've been playing together for years.
They really have. This has been, well, more of an art than a match. Fnatic have been fantastic in this one. And well, from Joe Miller, and Stuart Tosspot Saw. We pass it over to James Toogood Harding.
For my last time on stage, I'm joined by the winners of the Intel Extreme Masters Global Finals. It is going to be, obviously, fnatic and Khan. This is the first time in a long time that we can now call fnatic once again the world champions of Counter-Strike. How does it feel?
What can I say? I'm so proud of the guys. We practiced 1 week, come here and play, and beat all the top teams, MTW, who have been amazing throughout last year, and now beating MYM. It was too close. We should have won earlier, but we still won, so I'm happy.
You can only be happy with that. And I'm going to have to always let you go as we're going to be finishing up here at CBIT. But Khan, do you have any last words for everybody out there who's a fnatic fan, who's been following you guys and wanted to see fnatic back in action, back with fresh blood for 2009, which is what you will be showing us, I'm sure?
Yeah, I'm happy that fnatic is back. I think 2009 can be really good for us, and I want to thank fnatic and its sponsor, especially MSI, but also Best Poker and SteelSeries and U-Game, who make this possible.
Well, there we have it. Congratulations, Khan, once again, and the fnatic guys. So, fnatic are the champions. HON won in World of Warcraft. And for the last time here at the Intel Extreme Masters, I will pass it over to Daniel for the prize ceremony.